Today, we would be talking about something interesting, robotic process automation. Now, you might have heard of this before and might be wondering what it is. Some ploy that employers want to use them to take human labor away, but you see, that is not the case. Robotic process systems are designed to help the human labor force work to give more output efficiently. While it is true that RPA must have replaced some part of the human labor force, it has given those workers freedom to explore the more complex aspects of their work. Without an example of RPA, accurately describing an RPA and what it does might be near impossible. So here's an example of the implementation of RPA in the real world. This example is one that many of us have had to deal with so often without even knowing what it is that we are dealing with. When you call a helpline or a help desk to address a problem, you have, let's say, a product or service rendered, you find that an automated response system picks up your call. That is an RPA, the Robotic Process Automation. In this case, is used to respond to repetitive issues that customers might have. It only links you to the human customer care service when its programming cannot resolve your complaint. The RPA technology, upon linking you to the person in charge of customer service to give your complaint, would then list information peculiar to you to receive exemplary service and not just have to waste too much time going into details about yourself, the product, or any services rendered. But before we launch into robotic process automation and how it all works, take a moment to click the subscribe button and turn on post notifications to stay tuned for more content like this from this channel. What is robotic process automation? How does it work? Robotic process automation is a form of business process automation based on digital workers, representative workers, robots, or artificial intelligence. All of these are not to be confused with robot software. Robot software is a set of commands or instructions that tells the robot what task to perform. Software robotics, on the other hand, are digital workers. In the standard setting where the use of software is applied to a work process, a software developer is the one who programs the software to carry out an established list of actions as regarding the task. But in robotic process automation, it is all different. RPAs do not require a software developer to tell them what to do or carry out actions from an established list. RPAs develop their action list by watching the user perform the task repeatedly in the application's graphical user interface, the GUI. The robotic process automation then performs the automation by repeating the same processes that the user carried out in the graphical user interface. It does this in the GUI, performing the task of the user. Robotic process automation is sort of similar to GUI testing tools. This is because GUI testing tools are programmed to automate interactions with the GUI. They do this by simulating the actions of a user on the GUI repeatedly. RPAs differ because they allow the data that they have collected to be applied and handled between different applications. An example is the call center or helpline. Robotic process automation in the near future. RPA is not to be confused with artificial intelligence. RPA can employ the use of AI or work together when integrated. For example, suppose an email is sent with an invoice in a business corporation. In that case, an RPA can extract the information that the invoice contains and type that information somewhere, performing a bookkeeper's task. RPA is changing the way that organizations operate. RPA is taking on repetitive manual tasks and reducing the burden of human beings. Automation of tasks like data management, invoice processing, claims to process for insurance, and call center support is made possible using RPAs. In the insurance, finance, and business sectors, opportunities for the utilization of RPAs are everywhere. RPA is still developing and could do much better when integrated with other forms of technology. So we would be looking at how robotic process automation will help us in the near future, but first, click the like button because all these predictions are things that you want to know about. The evolution of RPA and its impact on the industry. Like every piece of technology that can be applied for different uses, RPA is evolving. RPA is spreading its reach as time advances. Employers of labor are beginning to recognize that RPA can increase productivity by increasing their workforce and leveraging a scalable digital workforce. According to a Gartner survey, RPA is experiencing explosive growth. Over 2 years, RPA has grown at over 60%, when the remaining software market grew by just 13%. As companies continue to implement RPA, the impact would increase and become much larger. This would mean that as a company, if you employ the use of RPAs the year before in 2 years, you would experience an upgrade in productivity and efficiency and probably see a reduction in your overall annual cost of production. As time goes on, RPA would be implemented in various industries like oil and gas, manufacturing, retail, analytics, and aviation. Office processes like data entry, data rekeying will be managed with RPA, increasing efficiency and removing the prospect of human error. It could help with improved data analytics, help manage formatting tasks, and improve data accuracy. The integration of RPA with other tools. As RPA continues to evolve and gets implemented into work processes, it would then be the norm for it to be used together with other tools and technologies. This is because companies understand that robotic process automation can only do so much alone. The integration with other technologies would see a far more comprehensive range of application and diversity. This is not saying that RPA doesn't work well enough on its own, but RPA should not be confined to one isolated part of the work process. Since digitization is now all around, RPA can be integrated with other tools to expand them in other aspects of the work processes. In the next few years, as the applications of RPA increase, this is what we are going to witness. RPA might be restricted to data analytics and data entry. Over time, RPA can be integrated with other tools to help workers perform their work more efficiently and increase their output. This means that RPA can be combined with work management tools like Kofax Total Agility, features like case management. Artificial intelligence. Robotic process automation copy repeated processes. The next level after this would be self-learning capabilities, RPA 2.0. RPA itself would develop and the integration we have talked about would be experienced. Think of RPA as the body of a robot and AI as the brains. So the RPA would create its list of actions and work on its own rules. With the integration of artificial intelligence, RPA would no longer be a rule-based system. It could mimic and take on the role of a human worker. However, to what extent and why these RPA 2.0 would be used depends on each separate organization's needs. Smart process automation. With time, the hype about RPA would begin to die down. This would be because the impact of RPA would become so widespread that it wouldn't be something new again. This would mean that development could be facilitated very easily, tools would be readily available, and the technical know-how would be easy to obtain. As RPA becomes something that everyone has, it wouldn't be something special anymore. The conversation would shift from RPA and employers of labor turn their attention elsewhere. Smart process automation is a larger concept. It would mean that work processes and things associated with it will become smarter. The shift in focus from RPA is SPA, and it would mean the creation of initiatives and innovations that would make business processes faster. In conclusion, RPA would change entire work and business processes. With its implementation in the next few years, monotonous tasks can be handed over entirely to the RPAs and leave the workers to do more strategic tasks. So, work productivity and efficiency would be boosted. And if you love this video, click the like button and don't forget to subscribe. Feel free to tell us your opinion about RPA and what it holds for the near future in the comment section below.